Hey, what's up guys, it's Alpha here and thank you for clicking on this video. As I mentioned in my announcement, I want to start uploading on the channel actively, and I figured that the best way to start this new experience would be with some good old Touran CC Lounge. If you're unfamiliar with what Lounge exactly is, it serves as one of the best ways to play Touran CC competitively. Here, each player is ranked based on a ladder system, and depending on how you perform in each event, you can either gain or lose rating points, so-called MMR, and then climb or fall in the ranking system. Currently, I'm ranked Platinum, but my goal is to reach the Diamond rank and eventually the Master rank soon. Today's event was a 2v2, meaning that there are 6 teams consisting of 2 players each, all trying to score the highest combined amount of points possible within 12 races. If you're interested in playing events like this yourself, then make sure to join the Touran CC Lounge Discord server by clicking the link in the description. My partner in today's event was my good friend Connie from Austria, and since we were calling with each other during this event, I unfortunately wasn't able to record my commentary live. However, I'll be following you through this video in post commentary today, although I do plan on potentially changing this in future videos. Since both Connie and I are in the same Touran CC clan called Next N, we decided to use its clan tag in the Smogie. If you want to see me play events like this live, then feel free to check out my Twitch channel, it is linked in the description below. And make sure to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so yet. Now, without further ado, let's get started with the video. Alrighty, so the first track of this event was Peach Gardens, and I have to admit, Peach Gardens is not really one of my favorite tracks in the game. I have never really practiced it that much, and I tend to do fairly poorly on this track when I play it online, but let's see how it will go in this event. So as you can see, I kinda messed up the beginning there. It was pretty rough, sending me to 8th place now, but you know, my teammate Connie doing fairly well. He's using Waluigi Biddy just like me, so unlike 150cc, there aren't that many Waluigi players in 200cc, but there are still a few, including myself, so it can be hard to tell who he is on the minimap, and that red shell was way too close for comfort. It didn't even go for me, but it still almost hit me, so you gotta be careful. Kinda mess up the drift there, but I pulled triple greens, which is a huge pull in this situation. You know, I can't get detected unless there's a bomb. I didn't even see that bomb, dude. I mean, looking back at the footage, you can kind of see that it's there. Wow, that blue shell. If looking back at the footage, you can kind of see that it's there, but in the moment, I was so jump scared by that. I'm not gonna lie. And there's a shock, but the shock was actually pretty good for me. I didn't dodge, but it hit me before the item box, the first item box on lap 3, which tends to be huge because you can pull some really good items there, just like the star, allowing me to take the shortcut. And because of that, I'm now 6th place, but unfortunately, my Shane item isn't that good. I get triple greens again. I throw him away as quickly as I can to not hit my teammate because he's right behind me. And I make a small little mistake there. And I just panicked and used my shroom, which I really shouldn't have because I need a shroom for the ending cut. I get unlucky, do not pull another shroom, and I just get owned in the end there. The Nisk was pretty good, but you know, nothing you can do against Star and people using shrooms. So I just get a terrible position, even mess up the ending there, only giving me 11th place, but at least my teammate did well, getting 4th, so you know, 11 points in race 1, it is okay. And after a rough start, we play Choco Mountain, which again is another track I don't like too much, and I even mentioned in a few streams that this might be my least favorite track in the game, so getting 2 tracks back to back that I don't really like is a bit unlucky, but hopefully I, and of course Connie as well, can get some good spots on this race. We'll see how it goes. Race 1 wasn't the greatest, but you know, we can come back from it. And we start off the race fairly okay. I get 2 shrooms, which can be pretty good. I'm saving up 1 shroom for the ending shortcut, but I get hit by like nothing. So I use the shroom to go back to top speed, but I pull yet another one immediately afterwards. My teammate is now in 1st place, which is huge because that means I can use my items as much as I want to, and I'm not gonna hit my teammate unless I get a blue shell or like a shock. But I don't need to worry about trailing my mate, which is cool. And of course, you know, him being in 1st would be good for our total points. And I'm in 6th now. Need to be careful that I don't get hit by the plant, because plants in 200cc are very scary. They tend to be very laggy and they can just hit you when you don't even see them. So you gotta be careful. And my mate is still in 1st. Now I'm just hoping that there won't be a shock. There is a blue shell though, which is bad for Connie, but somehow I'm still hanging in, just barely avoiding the fireballs there, and there's the shock. Well, at least it hit me before the boxes and before the glider, which means I can still, you know, kind of salvage this. I throw the red shell there for some reason. I'm not sure why I did that. But, you know, now I'm in 5th. My teammate, unfortunately, got a bit owned there, as you can see. He's right in front of me. And now in the last double box, unfortunately, I do not pull any good items. I could use the boomerang, but I panic a bit and just use it in a dumb way. And unfortunately, get another bad race. My teammate didn't do much better either, so this is definitely a tough start to the event for us. And next up is Toad Circuit, yet another booster track. And I've mentioned this a few times now, but I'm not too much of a fan of him, so, you know, let's see how it goes. Luckily though, this is a so-called bagging track, which means that a lot of people will just not drive in the beginning in order to get really good items and in the end break into a top spot with stars and shrooms and bullet bills, because this track has a pretty big shortcut in the end that you might be familiar with. Bro, I get owned there. Damn. But yeah, there's a big shortcut here in the end, and it can save a lot of time if you have shrooms, so, you know, people just try to get good items in the beginning and then break into a top spot at the end. And I myself pull a star there. It is okay, but I get knocked around quite a bit. I only have 2 coins, which is even worse. But this race is special for yet another reason, because my teammate, he's currently behind me, is pulling a shock right now. He was in a call with me, so I knew that he had a shock, which meant that I tried to get a dodge item as quickly as I could. But I pulled the worst item you can in this position, a golden mushroom. It takes forever to get rid of it, and even worse after that, I pull a shock as well. But both of us have a shock now. We do not know what to do. It's the end of the race. We just decide that he uses it even though the race is almost over. None of us can dodge. It is quite unfortunate. So I get last place there. At least he doesn't get a terrible position. He gets 7th, which is still fine. But I'm at 8 points after 3 races. This is a very, very tough movie for me so far. And with Cloudtop Cruise coming up, we have the first track of this event that is not a booster course track. So that made me happy, but you know, starting in 12th on a track like Cloudtop Cruise isn't optimal either though, because usually this is a pretty good track as a runner, which means that if you start in the front, usually it's fairly easy to stay in the front because there are no big shortcuts on this track that require like shrooms or stars or anything similar. And my teammate actually manages to break into a very good spot early on. However, I stick to 8th place, unfortunately. And just trying to collect as many coins as I can so that I can do a little comeback in lap 2 and lap 3. My teammate now being in 1st place. And as I said, it's a very good track as a runner, so hopefully he can stay there. I, on the other hand, get pretty destroyed here, unfortunately. But I do have a shroom left, 5 coins in the middle of the race, and I pull a star, and the star is pretty good on this track because there are a lot of shocks usually, or like at least one, but most of the time there will be a shock on this track, and I'm just gonna try to dodge it. I'm now in 9th place, but not as many coins, so it won't be easy to come back. And I pull a bullet bill, which is kind of cool. I wasn't really sure where to use it, so I just used it after my star ran out. But I would soon end up regretting that decision. My teammate's still in 1st place, and as you can see, I got a pretty bad drop off from the bullet bill. Now spamming my golden mushroom, and it's looking kind of okay actually this race. My teammate is in 1st, I'm in 5th, everything seems good, but then I got back spammed. Bro, how did that even happen? There's no way that was intended, right? So unfortunate, but I can gain a few spots in the end at least. I get 9th place. Luckily though, my teammate clutches out the 1st place, but you know, I'm at 12 points after 4 races. This is just terrible for me. And we start off the 2nd GP on Paris Promenade. And despite being a booster track, it is actually pretty good for us because similar to Cloudtop Cruise, it is a runner, one of the best runners in this game, and also one of the main runners from the clan that Connie and I are in. So both him and I have a bit of experience on this track, and since my teammate is starting in 1st, we can only hope that he can keep that position throughout the race. And I didn't get owned in the beginning for once, meaning I'm in 5th place with a decent amount of coins too, so hopefully I can break into a top spot as well. And as you can see there, my teammate's still in first place, holding himself very well in the front. You love to see it. And as the title and thumbnail of this video suggested, it is very important to never give up, and that's what I told myself starting from this race as well, because I had a very tough first GP, only scoring 12 points. My teammate did way better, but you know, my mental was pretty broken at this point, but I just kept reminding myself to not give up and to hopefully come back, and that's exactly what we did starting from this point. Little spoiler alert. As you can see, I'm still in a good spot, didn't get hit yet. I have 8 coins, pretty good, and I have 2 shrooms. I need to be careful to not hit the bananas from the Spaniard in front of me, especially since turn CC can be very laggy. You gotta be careful, but I do something very risky there. I tried to pass him because he took a wide line, and I ended up not getting hit, luckily. My teammate is in first, he can outrun the blue shell, and holding himself in the front fantastically. I'm in third, did not get hit, and I even backspammed the Spaniard that almost destroyed me with his trip bananas earlier. We needed that race, 1-3, very, very huge, scoring 25 points. It's time for the comeback. And the comeback is on, starting with Sweet Sweet Canyon. And the beginning of this track is always very, very messy because of the first 2 turns before the cannon. Everyone is really close to one another and you get bumped a lot. It's hard to get an item sometimes, as you can see, and somehow I survived. So far I'm in second place. My teammate getting trailed there by the Mario player, but I survived somehow. I'm in second place, getting the double box. Pretty good start for me. Unfortunately not for my teammate though. I get trailed by like air. I'm not sure what hit me, probably the trail from the Mario player, but he wasn't even close to me on my screen. Kind of unfortunate to start off the race that way. And I pull a plant, which is not a good item either. I'm trying to get rid of it as quickly as possible, but unfortunately not quickly enough because I do not get a Shane item. It is fine though, because there is gonna be a double box coming up after this turn. And just barely avoiding the banana there, pretty close call. And I'm holding on to my shroom so that I can take the ending shortcut and hopefully have a shroom left in the end. Especially with triple reds, could be pretty huge. And after taking the shroom cut, I get hit by a star, so I use my other shroom to go back to top speed and then throw some red shells. You cannot outrun a red shell at that turn, so I throw all of them there because I know that they will hit. And there we go, I hit the player. I'm in 5th now, but there is a shock. Kind of unfortunate for me because I had good items and then I also hit the off-road, but luckily I pull a double box there. Almost missed it, but just barely got it, and just narrowly avoiding the bomb there. I get the star, use it. I'm in 4th place. I can take the ending shortcut. It's looking good for me. Trying to snipe Scar in first, but I do not hit it, and I end up in 2nd place. The shock ended up being really good for me. Not for my teammate though, getting last, unfortunately. So even though I did well, my teammate got kind of owned. Pretty unfortunate. And Dragon Driftway kicks off the second half of this event. And just to give a little update where we are currently standing, despite my poor individual performance, Connie and I are still 2nd place right now, 1st place being Team NKG, consisting of Scar, the Donkey Kong you can see right in front of me. So 8 points behind them. We have a decent lead over 3rd and 4th. So yeah, it doesn't look good for me, but my team is doing pretty well thanks to Connie's huge carry. And we started this race with a very unfortunate trail, getting hit by nothing. Once again, the good old 200cc classic, if you will, getting hit by a player you don't even see on your screen. Yeah, just goes to show how laggy this game mode truly is. But anyway, 5th place with 2 coins. The people behind me are all people that are bagging, so you know, I'm not in a good position. And my plan to come back is to get as many coins as I can and then hopefully secure some shrooms for the ending shortcuts. And it kind of works. I have 7 coins now. I'm in 4th with double shroom, so that is pretty good. But there is the possibility of a shock. You always got to be wary of potential shocks. And there it is. Who could have known that it's gonna strike there? My teammate getting hit. He was 2nd place before the shock, I believe. Now he's in the back. And I'm just trying to, you know, save up some shrooms, and then come back at the very end of the race. A lot of people getting hit there, pretty messy. Good for me though. More players getting hit, and now somehow I'm in third place with a shroom, meaning I can take the ending shortcut. The Spaniard can take it too, but I take it better than him, and with the plant I secure second place even with the little banana hit. So another good race for me. Let's see what position Connie got. Let's see. Connie got 4th, so a really good race for our team, scoring another 21 points. Let's go. Next up is New York Minute, and I remember Connie actually telling me in that very voice call that we were in at the moment that this is one of his favorite tracks. So despite me hating it, I was still happy that it got picked, because he usually does pretty well on here, and the start for us was actually pretty good. We are in 2-3 and I pull a shroom. I'm in the perfect position, but I got bumped around way too much. It ruins my shroom line and I crash into the wall. It is my fault as well, admittedly, but the bumps were a bit unfortunate too, so it is what it is. Just barely avoid both bananas there, but yeah, it doesn't allow me to dodge the red shell, unfortunately. So now I'm only at 2 coins, 7th place, and I'm just trying to collect coins now, but the blue shell makes it even harder for me. And 11th place with no coins, no items at the end of lap 2, so you really need a miracle to come back from this. Luckily the pack is still kind of close though, so maybe not all hope is lost. I am trying to get a dodge item here because my only hope is to, you know, dodge the shock, and I get the star, which is good. I use it to chain it here, maybe get another star, and there's the shock. I actually get the shock dodge, pretty huge, and no one in front of me dodged, so I can get a free first place. Admittedly, it was pretty lucky, but I'm not complaining. Unfortunately though, my teammate got pretty screwed over by the shock, so he got last. So overall, only 16 points for that race, but it is what it is. Ninja Hideaway ended up being one of the most chaotic races I've driven in a while. Unfortunately, my teammate Connie was disconnected from the game before this race started, meaning that he wasn't able to play in this race and the bot took over for him, which, you know, is very unfortunate because usually the bot gets last place, and sometimes they even get shocks, and when they use it, you know, it's very random. There's no strategy behind them, so you just gotta hope that you don't get screwed over by it. So yeah, that kind of sucked, but I tried to make the best out of it. Didn't have a good start though, messed up a few times in the first lap. So I'm just gonna blame it on the fact that it's Ninja Hideaway and I can't play this track because I have skill issues. But yeah, still trying to make the best out of it. I get a star, meaning I can chain it in this box. And now the goal is to just get to 10 coins, hopefully, and then carry some good items into a good position to take the shortcuts in lap 3. And I decided to chain my shrooms there because I am hoping for a shock, because my teammate, even though he was disconnected, he was able to spectate the race, so he was able to watch what item the CPU was pulling, and we made a plan that once the CPU pulls a shock, he's just gonna scream as loud as he can so that I can use my dodge item as quickly as possible. And so, you know, that's why I always made sure to have a dodge item ready, and that's where he said that there's a shock, and the CPU took a bit to use it, but I was quick with my reflexes, immediately used the star, and now tragedy begun. I used the bullet bill way too early. It didn't take me around the turn. A huge mistake. Could have been one of the best races in this Mogi, but I messed it all up. And if you look at my hand cam, you can see I was not very happy about that ending of the race. Very unfortunate. So only 5 points in this race, I believe. You hate to see it. So, race 10 ended up being Peach Gardens, and some of you might know that you are not actually allowed to re-pick a track that has already been played in an event, and if you remember correctly, Peach Gardens was the first track of this event, meaning it is quite rare to play the same track 2 times in one event, but here we are, and I get lucky in the beginning. I pull a shroom, I get a draft, so I just lock myself into first place, and now I'm just trying to hold on to it as much as I can. I get all of the coins because no one is in front of me, no one can steal them, and that usually gives you a pretty good advantage. Now I'm at 9 coins already, while the people behind me usually only have like 4 or 5, so I can break away a bit. And it's really important to get a good race here now, because even though the first place team consisting of Scar and Grim, I believe their name is, even though they're quite far ahead now because of our poor Ninja Hideaway race, third place is getting closer and closer to us. So we're just trying to secure the second place. Not gonna be easy though, with Scar sniping me out of nowhere. I did not see that coming, but luckily for me, there is a blue shell, which I could have horned with my super horn, but Scar can't. And to add on to that, there's a shock, which is good for me because it gets me before the item box, and I pulled Super Red somehow. I'm not sure how that's possible, but I'm not complaining. Scar getting pretty on because of it, and now I'm attacking first place because that is a player from Team Pools, and as I mentioned, third place is Team Pools and they're pretty close to us, so I want to kill them as much as possible to increase our lead overall. I make the same mistake there that I did in race 1, but this time I did not waste my shroom. I learned my lesson, and instead I'm holding it for the end here. First place has a shroom too, so unfortunately I cannot pass them, but I will take a safe second place. I'm trying to backspam the other Pools member, but I do not hit them because of the shock. Anyway, I'm still pretty happy with second place in that race. Connie is getting 8th place, so it's not the best, but 17 points in this race, it is still okay. The event is almost over. We only have 2 races left, and race 11 ended up being Boo Lake, which is actually one of my favorite tracks from the Booster Course Pass. I've hated on it quite a bit in this video so far, but I TT'd Boo Lake a decent bit after Wave 3 came out, so I'm fairly familiar with the lines you have to take here. And I unfortunately missed the double box there, but it's not too big of a deal. I have a good amount of coins, so I'm just trying to stay in first as much as I can. I take the little shortcut here in the end, but somehow Scar is faster than me and trails me, and to make it even worse, I get dreaded in the worst position imaginable and also fall off. So I lost 9 coins in like 5 seconds, went from 1st to like 10th. Not a good chain of events for me. So, now I'm trying to play the race from the back with 0 coins. That is very difficult though. And yeah, just trying to get some good items here. Unfortunately, only pull a golden mushroom. Not what I want to pull in this situation, but at least my teammate is in the front. That's the only saving grace here. And I pulled a star, use it immediately because I'm hoping for a shock, because a shock dodge could be huge in order to come back, but there is no shock. I mess up the shroom cut quite a bit, and somehow I'm getting a few positions, but nothing major. I do a safe ending strat there, and I only get 7th place. It is still okay, all things considered, but I would have loved to get a good spot here. At least Connie saved the race with his 3rd place. And the last race of this event was Sydney Sprint. And just to give you a little perspective on where we are at right now, Connie and I are currently in 2nd place, being 14 points behind behind Grim's and Scar's team, being Team NKG. And we are 13 points ahead of the 3rd team, which is Team Pools. So our goal here is to just secure 2nd place, because so far Scar has been playing extremely well. He's the MVP by quite a bit, and with such consistent good races, it is hard to catch up. So we are playing it a bit safer towards Team NKG and just trying to secure 2nd place, and that means that we have to focus Team Pools a bit. But right now I'm in 2nd place, not playing too aggressively, and there is one of the 2 Team Pools members from Spain. They have fire, I gotta be a bit careful, but luckily they don't attack me. And my goal is to just get them into a bottom spot as quickly as I can. So I throw my banana, playing very aggressively. Unfortunately I missed the throw though. Almost get backspammed by Scar, pretty scary, and I get another double box, and luckily I pulled triple greens, which could be huge. I'm throwing all of them at the Spaniard, and it seems like I hit him, but I actually don't, because of like, I used the horn, this time I actually got them, and there's a blue shell coming up, so maybe I can even get first here. but unfortunately there's a shock after the item box is pretty bad for me. Luckily Scar is getting destroyed though, so I'm first for a short amount of time, but Tris, the player who dodged, is now pretty much guaranteed first place, which means I'm trying to salvage the second place here. X and TS very close to me, almost starring me. The green shell almost hits me. I use the horn to survive, and somehow I do not get hit by anything and I get a safe second place. Connie getting 7th here gives us a good race and finishes this event with a good amount of points. And that wraps up today's lounge. On screen you can see the results of this event, and as you might be able to tell, we got second place. If you're wondering, Nice Melon Taste is the nickname from Connie, so that is him, and we got second by a decent lead of 11 points. Unfortunately 15 points behind the winning team though, but second place is still pretty okay for us, especially considering how weak my beginning was. So I will definitely not complain about second. And now you can see the MMR after this event. So I went up from 6,825 MMR to 6,848, and diamond rank would be at 7,500 MMR, so there's still quite a bit to go, but we're getting there. And my teammate Connie actually got the promotion to master in this event by 2 MMR, so that is really cool. Congratulations to him. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Since this was my first time working on a project like this, I would appreciate any sort of feedback and criticism about what I could improve in my next video. If you have some ideas regarding the type of content you would like to see on the channel in the future, then feel free to tell me in the comments below. That's all for today though. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next video.